Good morning, everyone. So today we'll be talking about predictive maintenance and how you can get the most out of your digital twin. So in manufacturing, most companies are already following a preventative maintenance schedule. The introduction of a predictive maintenance strategy saves time and reduces cost. But what's the difference between the two? So let's start with preventative maintenance. So as an example, first consider an economy car you may have purchased several months ago. It's affordable, it's reliable, it's great on gas. So you'd like to keep it in great shape for when you eventually sell it. And the user manual says get the oil replaced every 4 months or precisely 8,000 kilometers. Now, whether we follow that or not is up to us, but that's what the user manual says, and that's what we try to do. So since it's been 4 months, we take the car to the auto shop for that awfully expensive oil change that's supposed to keep your car running in great condition. But what's more is this doesn't necessarily stop your car from breaking in between those scheduled fixes. So this is an example of what's called preventative maintenance. And the scheduled maintenance approach can lead to unnecessary costs and maintenance fixes regardless of the actual state of the vehicle and its parts. So what about predictive maintenance? So imagine you opted for some luxury features in that car you purchased, or you upgraded that economy vehicle to something with a little more pizzazz. So you're on the highway and you notice a strange noise in your vehicle. Now, instead of heading to the mechanic, you continue on. And since your vehicle has already been speaking with the manufacturer over its internet connection. So after some automatic analysis, your car has downloaded a software update. It's adjusted the suspension to correct for the problem. And that oil change that you used to have to check the user manual for how often, the car will now tell you that it's necessary, based on various condition-based sensors built into the car. So this is an example of predictive maintenance. It prevents breakdowns, and it gives you timely service reminders that reflect the usage of your car with enough advance warning to repair the issue before anything fails. Now, surprisingly, this isn't some far-off future technology. And the technology behind this process uses what Industry 4.0 is calling a digital twin in manufacturing. The necessary technologies are now in place for digital twins to take off across many industries. So for those that haven't been paying attention, a digital twin is a virtual database model of a corresponding physical product. And these models can range wildly in their purpose and fidelity, but they serve as a powerful connection to the product for diagnostics, design changes, maintenance, and more. So companies are using digital twins across several industries, allowing them to optimize their products in ways that were previously impossible. So the creation of a physics-based digital twin can begin alongside the design process, and digital twins can be created before a physical product is finalized, allowing for a powerful test platform to validate product performance. We can ask questions like, what should controller gains be? What size motors should be used in order to prevent those unnecessary failures and breakdowns on machine lines? So with MapleSAM, you can build a physics-based model that's available before prototyping, with the advantages that you can quickly iterate on designs, you can do motor sizing, virtual commissioning of the machine software, and run off in real time on the target machine. So you can investigate what could become a problem before it happens. So what does this look like in terms of development? So oftentimes people already have that CAD model, whatever software you're using, or you're starting simply from concept. So in either scenario, you can either import that into MapleSAM, or you can build from scratch. Whether that's from your CAD, you have your rigid bodies that you then add your coordinates to, then adding in your inertias and various other physical mechanisms, and then calculating your motion profiles so that you can do your dynamic load analysis. So MapleSAM is an advanced modeling tool that allows you to achieve extremely fast simulations, enables innovation, and reduces that development risk. We're going to jump into MapleSAM at this point so I can show you what that development would look like, how you can use it in that type of predictive maintenance scenario. So here we have a pick and place robot, standard mechanism that you would see on a production line. Your rigid bodies, so we have the CAD that we've already imported, your revolute joints seen here. And this is the one I'm going to focus on, connected to a motor here. And I'm going to play around with this value right here. So if we run this simulation, we're doing the calculations. Everything I have is on the other screen. So we have all of our motion profiles from our different probes and sensors that we have already on our model. So BRG bearing of our different forces and our moments. So if we take a look through torque, speed, of our different motion profiles. And actually looking at the robot, that's what it looks like. So we don't really see anything if we're just looking at that. But if we save our results, we can run the simulation again, change our parameters to alter, and see what happens. So for example, if I change this one, I don't know if that changed anything enough to make the difference to our plots. Okay, it didn't in this case, but what I want to show you is how we can run multiple simulations at once. So I'm going to show you what a parameter sweep would look like. So if we open up our parameter sweep app and load our system, I'm going to change that value back. We load our system and check our mass load. So if we're just looking at our weight that we're applying to our robot, we can look at a different range. So if this is something that, for example, on your machine line, you know that the mass that your robot is handling is only ever going to be between 1 and 20. We can give it 25 data points, and we're going to look at bearing 1 and moment. For our output, we can run the parameter sweep on that. So looking at this, what this plot would show us is no matter how many, so we've run this 25 times, no matter how many times we run this simulation, it's always going to be the same result. Our mass load from 0 to 20. So if we're looking at our machine, we know that if we deviate above this curve, and for this particular parameter we're going above this line, there's a problem. We have a fault in our system and something is wrong. So if we were to run a series of these for all of our parameters, to take a look at all of them and basically create reference charts that would tell us if this were to happen for, if we're at, for example, 6 kilograms and we're within this range, then we're doing okay. However, if we're outside of that, then something's a problem. What we can also do is apply multiple parameters. So if we throw in speed and look at cycles per minute, so we can run this again. It doesn't take long to run 25 simulations for each of them. And this way what we can do with this data is basically create a 3D surface plot of what our mass load, so this is just with one of them right now. We add our parameter 2 and we can create our CPM with our mass. So once we factor in our speed, what this would look like, once we factor in mass, of what our ranges are, so how much can we, what our limits are, how much can we push this machine, and once we go beyond that, if we start seeing our bearing moment go outside of that, we know there's a problem. We know that we should never be beyond that because we know it can handle anything within this range. Jumping back into our slides, so actually using the digital twin. So once you have that model built, so with your digital twin you have two options. So you can use it for motor sizing, for example with something like motion analyzer or servosoft. You can compare it to speed and torque profiles. Or you can also export your model as an FMU from MapleSAM and use this alongside a PLC to compare your model to real-time measurements. So taking it beyond those plots that we saw and putting that into something that's live. So this is where the real value of the digital twin comes into play. You're able to assess those deviations from the curves we built earlier. So if something begins to fail or is outside of the expected norm, built-in alerts and sensors will allow you to fix the problem before something actually fails. So while the initial investment in predictive maintenance can be costly, it allows machine repairs to be performed only when necessary, rather than constantly scheduling them and repairing parts and putting in that maintenance when it's not needed. So while there's huge value in virtual commissioning and system level modeling is an extremely effective approach for engineering design projects, not everyone is ready to jump into designing their own digital twin right away, and it can often be a daunting task. So that's why we have services and training that can help you get started, and our application engineers are here to help you with your project needs if you need to reach out to us.